Hello, Steve's 89. Well, a few days ago, Rob Zombie released another picture from the set of the Munsters. This one wasn't just about the house. It had the finished house in the background, but actually had the main cast sitting in their chairs, their little director chairs with their names on the back, and in full makeup. So that was quite a reveal. And kind of weird, because it's both disappointing and reassuring at the same time. The history of the Munsters recasting has been reasonably good. They did 2 films in, I think, the 90s. They did an 80s reboot series, then they did 2 films in the 90s. All tried to stay with the original look and theme and tone of the original Munsters series, just updated a little bit for the actual times. The 80s series, the Herman was kind of short and stubby. He didn't look right as Herman, but the makeup was accurate, and the tone again of the characters was really good. Same with the movies. They got Herman and Lily right, but they always got Grandpa wrong. Al Lewis was this cute, rolly little Jewish guy who was very sweet, but kind of, the character was, he was scary at the same time, but he was cute. He pulled it off really well. He could make these very kind of odd, dark sort of jokes, but still be, Grandpa. The other actors they had play Grandpa in the movies, Here Come the Munsters and Munster's Scary Little Christmas, Grandpa was kind of thin, and he just looked kind of creepy. He didn't have that he wasn't Al Lewis, so it didn't really work. Now, the guy in this one, he looks a little bit more like Al Lewis, like he's a bit beefier. They've given him a mustache for some reason, which, like I said, they're staying to the tone and look, but they are deviating a little bit, and I don't understand why he's got a mustache. It doesn't go with the overall look. They've got the hair the same pretty much. He's about the same build, like I mentioned, so will he have that same sort of jovial sort of, I don't know. That's the one look-wise that bothers me the most. Now, Sherry Moon Zombie, who we all knew was going to be cast as Lily Munster, I don't think anyone doubted for a second you wouldn't cast her in it. I don't have any problems with her acting. I've only seen her in a couple of things and she was fine. It's just hard to look at her and not see Sherry Moon Zombie. And this is no exception, because they're not accurate with the Lily makeup. Her hair is not the same. She doesn't have the widow's peak, which is very important to her look. And her hair, the white streak doesn't sort of go up and around. It just sort of goes off. And she doesn't have the dark eyeshadow. She just has like the thicker brows, and they're not the same shape. They're not that. She had a specific look, specific makeup. The lines of her eyebrows, the shade, everything was very specific, and she doesn't seem to have any of that. She does just look like a lady wearing a lily wig, and some dark mascara. That's kind of it. And I'm hoping this is just like a makeup test. They're not actually filming, and that's not actually the final look, but it could be. Herman looks pretty good, although I feel like his hair stops at a point, and then he's just got little bits of hair coming down over the trapdoor sort of head, the way they've cut the top of the head off and sealed it back down. I feel like Herman had more of a natural hairline that went around and was just short. So it's just a little thing with him, and he's got an extra scar down his neck, but those little things, I find that doesn't detract from the overall Frankenstein Herman Munster look. Whereas the Lily, like the widow's peak, how do you not have the widow's peak? I know Sherry Moon Zombie doesn't have a widow's peak, and maybe they're using her real hair because she doesn't want to wear wigs, but lady, put a wig on. Seriously. It would help also for people to get past the fact that you are, the wife of the director, because it just looks a lot like, is that nepotism, or is that only when it's your children you give jobs to? I don't know. It's not that she's not attractive, it's not that she's not talented, it's just, you're just aware that it's her, and it pulls you out. They should have got an unknown to play the part, not someone that we're going to be looking at and saying, someone who can give themselves to the role totally, adapt to the look totally, and be about the character, not about being Sherry Moon Zombie in another Rob Zombie film, which is kind of how it's feeling. But we haven't seen the performance, we can't say anything yet. Gosh, you mentioned the names, the actors. Jeff Daniel Phillips is playing Herman. Of course, Sherry Moon Zombie is playing Lily, and Dan Roebuck is playing Grandpa. And I don't know, I get the same sort of vibe from Grandpa. It's just a mustache. I'm like, why does he have a mustache? I guess, why couldn't he have grown a mustache? I guess he might have grown a mustache because he felt like it. Why can't he? It's not something Grandpa couldn't have done. So it's not like a real change. It's just, I'm like, why did the actor not want to get rid of his mustache because he had one? Or did they just for some reason think, why doesn't Grandpa have a mustache? He's kind of furry everywhere else and hairy everywhere else. I don't know. But yeah, so there's a picture of them sitting in their little director's chairs, which I also think took away from the characters, because you're not looking at the Munsters in front of their house, you're looking at the cast of the Munsters in front of their house. I'm like, so a few tiny little things, like when I first found out Rob Zombie was doing the film, I was terrified of how it would go. Then it seemed like he was going to stick to the original tone and style, and he does seem to be doing that. So the intention seems to be right. Whether he actually manages to land it, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm feeling optimistic, but not 100%. So I'm just going to go. I've gone from to. Okay, feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Bye.